Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I have my last kind of block pregnancy update for you today. So we are going to go through everything from week 17 to 20, what we've been up to, how I've been feeling, all of that kind of stuff. So if you are new, then hello, my name is Vicky. I've had quite an influx of new subscribers recently, so I thought I'd introduce myself. I have a playlist for all of my kind of pregnancy related videos so far. So from my live pregnancy test to our announcement video, which I will leave linked in a card and in the description box. So without further ado, let's dive in. So weeks 17 to 20 were probably a few of the most exciting weeks so far. A lot has kind of happened in these weeks and a lot of kind of changes have occurred, and it's all just really exciting. So obviously I'm going to share that with you guys, and I'm going to share like a live kind of bump date because we are finally up to kind of where we are now. So I am almost 21 weeks as I film this, but I'm going to do it a week in arrears. So I'm going to show you my bump, a live kind of video section of my bump, not just pictures like in the last few updates. So yeah, stay tuned for that. So from week 17, probably one of the most exciting things happened, and that is my appetite came back. Now at this stage it's kind of still up and down, but to feel hungry even once a day was just the most bizarre and amazing feeling at the same time. Like I honestly, I cannot get over 4 months without that feeling of feeling hungry. Like it's just bizarre. Unless you've kind of been there, then it's really hard to explain. But yeah, at this point it's kind of where it started to come back. My diet's still not great. I am still eating quite a lot of convenience things because I have returned to work now, and things like that. So I'm kind of just going with the rule of any fuel is good fuel at the moment. I'm not talking about like having a takeaway every day. I'm not doing that, but I am obviously just eating a lot more than I did before. So that was that. And probably the other most exciting thing was that I started to feel baby. So I started to get kind of small little flutters, quite deep down in my pelvis, and honestly it was the most bizarre thing. And I think it kind of confused me because it came about the same time as getting my appetite back. I was like, is this just like a hunger thing? Like I don't know what's going on, like, but I could tell after a while because it kept happening quite sporadically obviously at this point. I was like, no, it's baby. Oh my god. And honestly, again, without going through that feeling, like, I cannot explain to you how amazing it is. Obviously it's only got better over time, but the feeling of being able to kind of like, obviously I'm sharing that moment just with myself. Like obviously Joe can't feel it yet or anything like that, or he couldn't do at that point, but it was just so amazing. And I just honestly, I felt so like lucky when I just started to feel that. I was just like, oh, it's like obviously that reassurance, because obviously I haven't seen baby since 12 weeks. So it's obviously a reassurance that obviously everything's still okay. And that, yeah, baby's happy and kicking away. And it was just, oh, amazing. Such an amazing feeling. So I also started to get some kind of pelvic discomfort around this time. Now it wasn't like cramp or anything like that. It was like round ligament pain. So it was just the kind of dull kind of pull, kind of where my uterus would be, I guess. Where I guess everything's starting to just move around and things like that, and try and kind of grow and accommodate for everything. It wasn't like too bad. It was just more kind of annoying than anything because I couldn't really get comfy at night and stuff. So I just started to kind of go for a walk like every other day for half an hour, just to kind of make sure my hips were loosened up and things like that. They didn't like seize up and stuff, and it was fine. It didn't last for very long, I don't think. I had a couple of days of it recently when we've been out and about, and that's only, I think, because we'd done quite a lot of walking, but other than that, it's been fine. So at 18-ish weeks is when I went to see my GP. So I'd been on the phone to them quite a few times in regards to the headache that I'd been having, because it was just that at that point where I was just getting quite upset about it, because one, it's painful, two, it's just frustrating that I could, one, not do anything about it, and two, didn't really know what was causing it. I didn't know if it was something I was doing or not doing or anything like that, and she didn't really seem to have much advice. But the one thing I am grateful for is that she wanted to, at this point, because I'd obviously been in touch for a few weeks, she wanted to obviously check things out and stuff. So she booked me in, and I went and had like my urine dipped and had like my blood pressure checked and stuff like that, and everything on paper obviously seemed fine. My blood pressure was fine and everything like that, and I have since got like one of those at-home blood pressure monitors just to kind of keep an eye on things a little bit more, just because of the infrequency of appointments at the moment. So yeah, that was that, which obviously was a good thing. She said there's no kind of signs of like early preeclampsia or anything like that, so that's obviously good. Kind of just keep on going how you are, taking paracetamol every now and then, and things like that, just try and keep relaxed, try and do kind of facial massage and things like that, just to kind of relieve the tension if it is just tension headache. So that was that, which I kind of just, I don't know, I wasn't really expecting anything more, but I don't know, I kind of felt a little bit deflated because I was like, oh, okay, great, I've just got to kind of suffer. Which I know it's not the end of the world, like first world problems, having a headache, like, but honestly it just felt like I cannot explain how it felt. It was just horrible and I just wanted it to stop. So the fact that she didn't really say anything was just a bit like, oh, okay then. So yeah, that was that. And then the only other things I have wrote down are backaches and boobs. Not necessarily ones that go together for me, because I am quite small up top, so it wasn't a case of like weight causing a backache or anything like that. But I noticed quite a lot with my boobs, well, my nipples specifically, TMI, but they felt like they had sunburn. That's the only way I can describe it, that if anything touched them, whether that was a towel after I got out of the shower or like I put a bra on or anything like that, it just felt like that feeling of when you touch sunburn, and that kind of stingy kind of feeling. It was just bizarre and really annoying because obviously I couldn't get it to stop, and I was like, oh my god, what's going on? And I just, you know, when you just want to kind of itch like a bite or something like that, and you know you shouldn't. It was like that, because my nipples, why am I going to scratch my nipples? I didn't. I just kind of let it go. It did. I'm sure I could have put like some aloe vera on them or something, but I didn't. I just kind of let it crack on. So that was that, and like I say, backaches as well. I noticed this more if kind of we went anywhere, if we were walking for any kind of long periods of time, which is kind of pretty standard. Even pre-pregnancy, I suffered quite a lot with backaches and things like that. So I think it's more of an indicator now for me that I need to start upping my exercise, just to kind of keep on top of things like that, just so it doesn't like cause any issues like with my hips and pelvis and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna get my hair out of the way because it's really starting to kind of do my head in. So from around 19 to 20-ish weeks, I have more pelvic discomfort. Like I say, again, I only kind of noticed this when we were kind of out and about, walking quite a bit. Oh, I feel like I've got wind, but it won't. So yeah, I had the pelvic discomfort again, which was, like I say, just that kind of almost pulling down kind of feeling in my pelvis, which again, I kind of just sucked it up, kind of wriggled my hips a little bit just to make sure they were all loosened up and stuff, and just kind of tried to forget about it, which was fine. And then the other thing was that I had more movements. So like I say, earlier on it was that kind of just a little kind of weird fluttery sensation that was almost like when your stomach goes over itself, if that makes any sense. You know, that kind of feeling if you go over a bump and it's like, ooh, that kind of turning over kind of feeling. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's almost what it felt like quite early on. But now it's starting to feel more like a actual, like, I don't know, like, I can't really explain it very well, but more like an actual kicking sensation, which is just utterly amazing. Baby seems to move more at night, so it's quite nice. After I like have a shower in the evening, I kind of just sit on the bed for a bit and feel baby just moving away, and it's just so fun. But yeah, I'm starting to feel it more now, which is just, like I say, it's amazing. I feel just completely blessed at this point. So at around 19-ish weeks, I think it was about 19 plus 2, we actually went for a private gender scan. So we'd had this booked for quite a few months because at the time our hospital wasn't allowing partners to come to scans, and I didn't obviously want Joe to miss out on things like that. So I was like, right, we'll pay for it and then you'll be able to come. And we obviously just both had to wear masks and stuff like that and have a temperature checked when we got there. So we went for that. And like I say, it was like our gender scan. So what happened was Joe found out the gender of the baby at the scan, and he held it in for 8 days. And I did not find out in that whole time, not despite him having bought gender specific items. When I say that, obviously I say it loosely, like he just bought one or t'other. I'm not saying that a girl has to wear pink and a boy has to wear blue and it can't wear the opposite. I'm not about that. I don't care about anything like that. But he bought a specific colour, let's just say, and he gave that to me on our gender reveal day. So like I say, so we had that scan then, which was amazing. So we had like the 4D kind of thing. I'll insert some pictures and stuff here. I've actually got one on my dressing table as well. It's literally a spit of my husband. It's very bizarre. So yeah, so that was amazing. The whole experience with that scan was actually really good. They were running a little bit late, so I phoned them up when we got to the door, as they told me to do, and they just said, oh, running a little bit behind, take a seat, because there were some like kind of benches outside there, and I'll come down and get you when we're ready. So he did that. It was probably like 5 minutes later. Went in, and the lady doing the scan was lovely, and just like the whole place was obviously really nice. It was just a one in, one out kind of system, so there was nobody else kind of hanging around or anything, which was good. And like I say, we just had our like temperature checked when we went in, normal hand sanitizer, masks, the whole situation. So that was all great. And then 4 days later, in fact, so we had that on the Saturday, and then on the following Wednesday we went for my NHS like 20-week scan, which wasn't as good, I will say. Obviously 20-week scan is just to kind of measure everything, make sure everything's grown as it should, and things like that. But it was, at the same time, I think being a first time parent, it was just a bit like, oh, well, this is a bit like obviously she was kind of talking through it. She was like, oh, this is what I'm measuring, this is what I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. But she didn't at any point, one, ask if we didn't want to know the gender in case it was obvious, which I was a little bit kind of concerned about. A few times she went near the legs, so I just kind of looked away just in case. And she also didn't explain how the whole kind of photo situation works. Now, I know a lot of people kind of know how it works, but we didn't. We didn't know that you had to kind of prepay for your photos, go in and say, we've paid for X amount, please take X amount kind of thing. We didn't kind of get any of that. So at the end I just said, oh, how do the photos work now? And she said, oh, you needed to have prepaid and told me when you came in. And baby was in a crap position anyway, so I couldn't get anything. So I was like, oh, great. Like, we weren't even bothered about kind of the quality of any photos. It was just for the sake of having something for the memory box kind of thing. Like having your, you know, your 12, your 20 and your whatever week scans. So that was a bit of a bummer. But at the same time, I was like, right, I only saw baby the other day. It is what it is. We'll just crack on with life, basically. So that was that. And around the same sort of time, I think it was actually the day I turned 20 weeks. We ordered our travel system, which I will have a video on. I have like a first impressions kind of video on the travel system that we got, and that will be hopefully up on Friday this week. And I'll try and link it again once it's up. So yeah, so that was super exciting, like the first kind of big purchase. We bought a couple of little bits beforehand, and again I will be doing like a baby haul now that we've kind of got enough to warrant doing a haul, so I'll probably do that at some point next week. But yeah, so that was super exciting. We have taken it to my in-laws' house just to kind of store it, because one, we don't really have anywhere to put it, and two, it's meant to be bad luck. So we've taken it up there. We've just kept the car seat and the Isofix base here, just in case obviously anything happens any earlier. And yeah, so the massive thing that kind of happened at this point as well, on Sunday the 30th of August, we had our kind of like gender reveal kind of thing. So this was just my mother and father-in-law, my brother-in-law and his wife, and obviously Joe was there as well, but he already knew the gender. So this is the day that I found out what we are having. I have got a separate video on that as well, so I'm not going to disclose it in this video. So if you want to find out what we are having, so exciting that I know. I feel like one of those YouTubers that's like, oh, I'm doing something secret and I can't tell you. But yeah, so if you want to know what we are having and want to see my reaction to finding out, then I will have that video up hopefully next week for you guys. So make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already, and turn on the notification bell so you get a little notification to let you know that I have uploaded that video, because oh my god, it's very exciting. I still can't believe it. So in fact, while we're on the subject, I want you guys to leave a comment with your guess down below. Obviously, if I have already told you, there are a handful of people, close friends and family, that do know. So if I have told you, don't comment and ruin it for everybody else. But I really want to know everyone else's kind of guesses as to what they think I'm having. So to possibly aid you in your decision, I'm going to show you my bump. And yeah, let's just do it. This is weird. So I'll show you kind of with clothes first. So I look kind of quite big at the minute because I've not long had lunch. But yeah, this is bump at the moment. I'm wearing just like a kind of baggy tee, and then naked bump, if you will, is like this. So like I've said before, I've always been like someone that carries an extra bit of weight like around my hips and stuff anyway, so yeah. So I am also going to include the kind of little side-by-side photo of from when I kind of more or less first found out, so like around 5 weeks, to my 20-week bump, just to kind of compare them. And yeah, so give this video a massive thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and make sure to leave your guesses down in the comments box. I'd be really curious to see what you guys think that we are having, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye guys.